morning, everybody. It is Monday, July 19th. This is our morning drive live. So, there was a post at the end of last week that kind of raised my eyebrows a bit. And basically, what had happened is a sales rep for one of the big supply companies came into the office and was incredibly disgruntled that they had to go through COVID screening in order to be allowed to enter the office, and offered their incorrect opinion on their interpretation of the OSHA ETS for COVID-19 response, the emergency temporary standard. And I know we've already talked about the ETS, but today, while it's not going to be about the ETS, I want to at least talk about it for a minute, just for those who didn't catch the previous videos or who may not know what I'm talking about. The OSHA ETS ETS stands for Emergency Temporary Standard. Okay, OSHA doesn't have rules. OSHA doesn't have regulations. OSHA has what are called standards, and that is the minimum necessary requirement for you to maintain safety in your workplace. That is why it's called a standard. We all talk about being held to a higher standard, or this being the standard of care, and that is what OSHA has. OSHA's rule book, which is, the CFR, OSHA's rule book is a book of standards. Just like standard of care, OSHA has standards. They are OSHA's rules on the absolute minimum to keep your workplace safe. So, ETS stands for Emergency Temporary Standard. The standard is their enforceable rule, their enforceable requirement for every workplace in the United States that the standard applies to. There are standards for forklifts. You probably don't have a forklift in your practice, so the section on forklifts and licensing and training will not apply to your office. Just like the standard on bloodborne pathogens will not apply to a restaurant, will not apply to a mall or a retail store. That bloodborne pathogen applies to places where bloodborne exposures are common or typical or possible. So that is something important to know. The ETS is the current enforceable requirement for OSHA. Yes, it is temporary, but that's just because it takes a little bit of time to get through the system and become part of the OSHA 929-page CFR book. Of all the requirements for all businesses in the general industry, which is what healthcare fits into, that's the way it is. So, with that said, the ETS currently says you can be exempt from the ETS if you screen prior to admittance all non-employees. It does not say patients. It does not say people coming in to receive treatment. It says all non-employees. What that means is if a plumber is coming in, he has to be pre-screened. If a sales rep is coming in, they have to be pre-screened. If a mother is coming in with a patient who's going to be treated, they have to be pre-screened. That is what the rule says right now, And I do not see that changing at all. 0% do I see that changing. So, we'll get back to the beginning of the story. The sales rep who had the issue being pre-screened because OSHA doesn't require it. And what is truly the scary part of this story is this sales rep is the one who has provided in the past OSHA and HIPAA training for the office. So my assumption is this sales rep came in with a pre-canned presentation, excuse me, a canned presentation that somebody somewhere said, hey, let's give this as a value add to the people who order from us, or charge them a fee per employee, per attendee, to receive our OSHA training. And here is the problem with that. Number one, that sales rep knows absolutely nothing about the true standards, requirements, regulations, or anything about OSHA. Okay, the only people who are allowed to teach OSHA are OSHA authorized outreach trainers. They are the only people. They have a Department of Labor card that says they are an outreach trainer. It requires a minimum of 5 years experience in a safety capacity in a company. It requires training and classes and continuing education, and there is a process to it. I'm getting ready to spend a week down south to go through my every 4-year reapproval process to have my card, my outreach trainer card. Those are the only people who should be teaching OSHA. Anybody else should not. We have to stay up to date. We get updates from the Department of Labor, usually in advance of the general public. So, just something to keep in mind, because what I'm going to say and how we're going to end today is with this. Please, please, please remember the annual training that is required by OSHA is annual training on your office's site-specific programs and plans. It is not general training on OSHA rules and requirements. It is training on your office's site-specific plans. So if somebody comes into your office to do the training, and that training does not include where your rally point is in case you have to evacuate the building, where your rally point is, where all the employees are going to go to meet and be counted, so you can let the fire department know everybody's here, everybody's not, somebody's still there, somebody isn't. Where your bunker location is, the location and change schedule for sharps containers, locations of hand wash stations. There's a whole lot of information that is very specific to your office. And that is what the annual training has to be on, not general OSHA law. Going to a seminar, going to the State Dental Association annual conference and taking an OSHA class there absolutely does not meet the annual training requirements. And I'm telling you, as sure as it's Monday morning and I'm sitting at the office, the OSHA inspections in dental offices are going to continue to increase because of COVID-related issues. So please be ready for that. Have your plans, have your programs, and have your site-specific annual training done and complete. So that is it. I am here. Everybody have a fantastic day. Have a great week, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, July 20th. This is our morning drive live. So there was a post in the group last night talking about submitting your office fees, a list of all of your office fees, your standard UCR full price fees, to the insurance companies in order to get a reimbursement. And I wanted to just talk a little bit about a few things that you can do sometimes to get your reimbursements increased. It is rare. A lot of the insurance companies in the past, we'll say 6 months or a year, have reduced their reimbursements. Some of them a very large number of reduced reimbursements, and some of them have actually raised their reimbursements a tiny, tiny little bit. So, there's a few things we can do to start working towards increasing our reimbursements. And the first thing, and this is the one that potentially can make an immediate difference, is making sure that you are submitting your full office fee on all the claims that you send out. Now, we all know the exception is if you're giving the patient a discount, but I'm talking about the 99% of claims that go out that you're not giving the patient any kind of discount. You're just regular fee. It is what it is. No discount, no breaks, no nothing. And submitting your UCR. A lot of offices that we work with will start working with them. Excuse me. And the first thing we'll notice is they are submitting their allowed fees on the claim forms. So basically, they've spent the past 5 years, 6 years, 7 years submitting the allowed fee on the claim form to the insurance company, and then they're complaining that we don't understand why we haven't gotten an increase. We don't understand why they haven't raised our rates, why none of that has happened. And the reason is you haven't been submitting your full fee. So, if you're sending me a bill and I'm an insurance company that automatically assumes there should be a contractual write-off. There should be that write-off that you do, the difference between your allowed fee and your full fee and your allowed fee. And you're sending me bills, and those bills are for the exact amount of your allowed fee. The assumption is that's what you charge. That's what you charge your uninsured patients is, we'll say $48 for a prophy, and that's what we allow. So there's no reason for me to give you an increase because you're not charging any more than what we allow. That's what they see. So by submitting your full office fee, by submitting your UCR, you're showing them, listen, we charge 100, but you're only allowing 48. And over time, hopefully that will be one of the indicators, and it's not the only one, but one of the indicators that it's time for that insurance company to increase their reimbursement to you. The other reason that you want to be submitting your full fee, not the allowed fee, is because if the insurance company does increase their reimbursement by $1 or $2 or $3 for your zip code, for your area, for your demographic area, whatever it may be, and you're still submitting 48 when they allow 48, they're not going to just start sending you 49, even though you submitted 48. So, always, always, always make sure you are submitting your full fee. That way, if they do a dollar or two or 10 or 20, whatever it is, increase, you're going to know. You're going to know that they've increased it because you're going to see that increased reimbursement because you're not doing the adjustment, or because you are doing the adjustment. So you want to make sure you are always submitting your UCR. The other thing that you can do, and a lot of insurance companies have a place on their web portal where you can, once a year, submit your list of UCR, your full list of what you charge your cash patients, what your full office price is. Go onto the web portal or contact um, your rep with the insurance company, find out how to submit that. And you should be submitting that every year to them. Now, if you haven't changed your fees in a year, if you haven't upped your UCR, haven't increased your price for the past year, I would still submit it, but it's not showing anything, which is another reason why, dentists should not be afraid to increase their prices every year as your expenses increase. Everything gets more expensive, so don't be afraid to increase your fees. That is the way it works. When we do our remote billing service for clients, one of the first things I look at is their UCRs as compared to other offices in the zip code, other offices in the demographic area, because, we only get paid a percentage of what they get. So I want to make sure they get the biggest possible piece that we can, because then my percentage is the biggest possible piece as well. So don't be afraid to increase your fees. Your expenses go up, your, payroll goes up. I know the electric bills go up. It's all increasing. So you want to make sure that you are keeping up with the rate of inflation at minimum. But by submitting your UCRs every month, or every year, sorry, to the insurance companies, you're telling them these are our fees, these are our new fees, these are our new fees. So then they'll understand. And then you're reiterating that every time you send a claim. You're reiterating these are our fees. The write-off is too big, you've got to come up a little. Not all of them will. Some of them will go down. Some of them will not negotiate at all. Some of them say we're going to change every 2 years, every 4 years, every 5 years, whatever it may be. But, we can do these little things to help building a case when it comes time to start negotiating with the insurance company, whether you do it yourself or whether you hire some company, and we don't do this, but some company to negotiate your fees. It's helping to build that case when you're submitting your full UCR on every claim and once a year in full as a report printed out from your practice management software. So hopefully that makes sense. I am here. Everybody have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, July 21st, and this is our morning drive live, but I'm not driving right now because my car is having its routine maintenance oil change, service, getting ready for me to head out on vacation next week. And I wanted to talk today about the routine maintenance that we should have for both ourselves and for our practices. I'm here, car's getting its oil change, getting its checks, fluids topped off, so on and so forth. And you know, we take care of our cars, we do the routine maintenance. We tell our patients, you need your routine maintenance. You need to come in every 6 months or 3 months or 4 months for your prophies, for your perio maintenance, to maintain your teeth, to maintain your oral health. But we forget about the routine maintenance that our practices need, and we forget about the routine maintenance that we need as people, because it's very difficult to be effective as an employee or as a business owner or as a dentist or hygienist or assistant or whatever your position is, front desk, if you are not taken care of as well. And, we forget about that regularly. We tell everybody else, maintain your teeth. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It's far cheaper to take care of your teeth and get a cleaning than it is to deal with a root canal and a crown later on. And I think, again, when it comes to our businesses and when it comes to ourselves, we tend to forget about the routine maintenance things. Like I said, I am getting ready to leave on Friday for my first vacation in 5 years. Um, that's part of routine maintenance, is making sure you take time for yourself, making sure you give your batteries a chance to recharge. You have to take the time to rest. You have to take the time to relax. You have to go to the gym and take care of your health and do all of those other things for you as a person, to take care of yourself, to stay charged, so you can be at your optimal performance level when you're at work and when you are at home, when you are, spending time with your family. One of our company core values at my office is work hard and play hard. And I believe in that because I think it's important for people to take the time to enjoy themselves. Go away for the long weekend, you know, take a day off and go to the doctor. Make sure you're getting your annual checkups. Make sure you're doing the routine maintenance on your body and for yourself, for your body, for your mind, for your heart and your soul. Make sure you're taking care of all that so that you can be an effective person when you're at work and when you're spending time with your family. But we also forget about the routine maintenance that we have to do for our practice. And that is looking at the numbers, understanding what they mean, looking at our systems, looking at our teams, knowing, how many net patients we're getting every month. It's great if you're getting 35 or 40 new patients every month, but what if you're losing 50 or 60 patients every month that are falling off of your schedule? And you're actually losing patients and you don't know it, because people forget to do that routine maintenance, to look at those numbers, to understand what they mean, to look at the systems within their office, to evaluate the efficiency, the performance, the customer service levels of their teams. you know Ask your patients, how are we doing? Everybody asks for a review, but what about just asking, hey, Mr. Patient, Mrs. Patient, how do you think we're doing? I don't want a Google review. I don't want you to log in and have to type something out. I just want to know, how was today? How was your visit today? Was everything okay? Did you have any concerns? Was anything not addressed that should have been addressed? Make sure you're doing that maintenance. You're checking in on your systems. Yes, check in on customer service. Listen to your team members when they're on the phone. Make sure they're providing excellent customer service for your patients. Because we are a business and we have to maintain that business. Making sure your systems are in place, reviewing your ordering processes, who you're ordering from. I'm doing a practice analysis for a client right now, and they've been dedicated to one supplier for the past 8 years. And just this year so far, they have overpaid for supplies by about $30,000 just this year. Could have got the exact same supplies by ordering from somebody else, from a different company. So, check those systems, look at the maintenance of your practice as something that is equally as important as the maintenance on your car or the maintenance that we tell patients they have to follow. So I hope that helps somebody out today. Look at the systems. If you don't know what systems to check into, message me, call me, comment on the video. I have an entire list of things we look at, a KPI spreadsheet for the practice to analyze exactly what I think people should be looking at on a regular basis. So everybody have a great day. I'm waiting for my oil to be changed and then heading into the office. I will see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, July 22nd, and this is our morning drive live. And yes, I know I'm doing this drive live on my page rather than in the Facebook group that I normally do it in every morning. And there's a reason for that. And the reason that I am going public this morning on my public page, on my profile, rather than in the group, is because I think this is a message that needs to be shareable with more people than just the 7,000 people in the group. It needs to be shareable into other Facebook groups, and it needs to be shareable with your friends, your coworkers, and your employers. And the message for today, as we start driving, is why your employees are losing respect for you. And this is happening every day. I am getting messages telling me, my boss is asking me to do this, my boss is asking me to do that. I know it's breaking the rules, I know it's not allowed, and what do I do? And that is what is causing your employees to lose respect for you as an employer. So the most recent thing was somebody posted in my group, and again, my Facebook group is, I'll say 95% dental, front desk, office managers, and hygienists / assistants, and then probably 5% dentists. So my target audience in my group is the employees at a dental office. And they're asking questions every day, and they're getting the responses. They're getting the accurate, correct responses every day. The most recent one was about holding a patient's records when the patient owes you money. So there was a post yesterday in the group that said, my dentist doesn't want to release the x-ray to another office, another dentist, because the patient owes us $150. Do we legally have to release the record? And the answer to that question is yes, you absolutely have to legally send the record to the other dental office. You have to. HIPAA law says, regardless of any balance, those records have to be released to any other provider or even to the patient when they are requested. You cannot hold the record because the patient owes you money. Then I start getting the private messages from people. My dentist says if the patient owes us $100 that we're going to charge them $100 as a records release fee. Well, you can't do that. The amount you're allowed to charge is limited by law, which if you have a question on that, let me know. I can provide you the link to the Department of Health and Human Services webpage that tells you what that number is. It overrides your state law. So you have to follow the cheaper of the two, which is the federal rule. But if you have a question about that, let me know. That's not what I'm talking about today. But what's happening, and this isn't the first time this has happened. This HIPAA records release discussion is not the first time this is happening. I get this question all the day when I'm told, oh, we're in network with Delta. We did a pulp cap and a filling. Delta says they consider, per our contract, the pulp cap to be inclusive with the filling. That's absolutely correct. They do consider the pulp cap inclusive with the filling. You cannot charge the patient. Well, my doctor says just don't submit the claim for the pulp cap and charge the patient. You can't do that. That's violating your contract. That's overbilling, and you're not allowed to do it. But the dentists are telling their employees, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. The employees know it's a violation of your contract, it's overbilling, and you're not allowed to. But the dentist says we're going to continue to do it anyway. Even though we know we're not allowed, we're going to continue to do it. And then dentists and office managers and, dental office owners wonder why they're having such a hard time finding and keeping employees. And this is not the only reason, but one of the reasons why is because you are losing the respect of your team. When you knowingly violate a rule, when you knowingly choose $50 or $60 or $100 worth of income, you are exchanging that improper income. You're trading it for the respect of your team. And this is why so many people are looking for jobs, trying to get out of offices, are leaving jobs, are just getting out of dentistry altogether, because the small number of dentists that are doing this, and I don't know if there's something in the water lately or what's going on, but it seems to be increasing. But the small number of dentists that do this make us all look bad. They make us look bad not only to the patients, who, some patients will actually take the time to call the insurance company and be told, no, you should not have been charged for that. That's a violation of the contract. The dentist agreed to include that in the service, so on and so forth. But you're also making yourself look bad in front of your team, in front of your employees. And that is an even bigger problem for me, because in my office, my employees are me. They represent me to every client. If they don't respect me, they can't have any respect for my clients. And if they don't have respect for my clients, they're not going to take care of them the way I want them to be taken care of, and the way they deserve to be taken care of. So we have to be careful about what we do and how we do it, and follow the rules. Think about the next time you get annoyed, and I get it. I get aggravated all the time with people who try to shortchange me, who, want to not pay a bill for some reason, whatever it may be. It happens. But I have to think about the level of respect that I'm losing from my team in exchange for, catching up on a couple bucks. It's just not worth the loss. There is no amount of money that's worth the loss of respect from your team for you. It's just not there. So please, if you're not familiar with the rules, do whatever you can to familiarize yourself with the rules. We spend a lot of time and money and energy training our teams to know how to do their jobs. If somebody's job is billing, if somebody's job is the front desk at a dental office, they are the admin, they're an administrative employee. Even if you're not paying for their CE, they're spending their personal time, nights, weekends, because believe me, I spend nights and weekends responding to all the posts in the group. They are furthering their knowledge. They are continuing to grow in their career themselves. They want to learn. And you trust them to be the expert at what they do, just like your patients and your team trust you to be the expert at what you do. And if you're not going to listen to them when they tell you you can't do that, this is a rule, you can't do this, this is the rule, this is the way it is, you're going to lose the respect of your team, and ultimately you're going to lose your team, and you're going to have no idea why. So I'm sorry to get on my soapbox today, but it just hit me last night after about the 15th message on Facebook. I had to put it out there. I'm going to share this into the Facebook group. But again, I wanted to make it public on my public page just so everybody can see it. So I am here. Everybody have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow.